Yo, somebody call security because reality just jumped the fence, ripped off its mic, and flipped the damn script. You mean to tell me LIL Scrappy S, Da, Prince of the South himself, has been living in a whole Lifetime movie without even knowing it? Because baby, the streets are on fire and Bambi just tossed in the match. Are we seriously talking about a secret child? Not a rumor, not a tabloid whisper, but an actual living, breathing baby that allegedly ain't even Scrappy's. Oh, it gets worse. This bomb didn't drop in private, nope. It exploded at 2:47 a.m. with a shady screenshot and a whole lot of silence that screamed louder than a Mama D Instagram live. Was Bambi out here living a double life while Scrappy was writing love songs and dodging beef with Kirk Frost? Did Stevie J really play the role of baby daddy fixer? Is the cast of Love and Hip Hop actually auditioning for the next season of How to Get Away with Betrayal? Grab your receipts, charge your phone, and brace yourself, because what we're about to uncover makes reality TV look like a bedtime story. This ain't gossip, this is war. And LIL Scrappy, he's not just heartbroken, he's demolished. LIL Scrappy had no idea he was walking straight into betrayal until it sucker punched him at 2:47 a.m. with no warning. No explanation. Just a blurry screenshot and a message that said, "Thought you should know." The image showed Bambi, his wife, the woman he trusted, defended, and built a family with, cradling a toddler he had never seen before. The child wasn't just some random baby either. The resemblance was chilling. The eyes, the smile, that signature Bambi smirk. But the gut punch, that silent, creeping truth that crawled up his spine and whispered, "This one's not yours." Scrappy's heart didn't break, it detonated. He sat there frozen, the glow of the phone lighting up the pain on his face like a spotlight in a tragic play. He called her once, no answer, twice, straight to voicemail. The silence was loud, deafening, the kind that makes your ears ring. And just like that, the man who had once rapped about staying strong in the face of chaos found himself spiraling into one of the most personal and me of the most personal humiliations he'd ever known. He pulled on his hoodie, grabbed his keys, and drove to the house they once called home. His thoughts raced faster than the engine. Every red light a slap in the face. Every memory a brick being thrown through the windshield of his peace. And when Bambi opened the door, the look on her face said everything. She knew she had known. And she had said nothing. The tension in that room could have cracked glass. Scrappy didn't scream. He didn't flip furniture yet. He simply held out the phone and said, "Who is he?" Bambi didn't even pretend to misunderstand. Her expression folded in on itself like a collapsing building. Her mouth opened, then closed, as if trying to find the version of the truth that would hurt the least. But there wasn't one. "It was during our separation," she whispered, like that line had been practiced, polished, repeated in the mirror 100 times. "It was a mistake. I didn't want to lose you. I didn't know how to tell you." That was the moment Scrappy's composure crumbled. 1,000 arguments, accusations, questions collided in his throat, but only one came out. "You let me raise kids thinking we were good while hiding a whole baby?" He stormed out before she could answer. The truth was too loud to unhear. And the worst part? This wasn't just about infidelity, it was about deception at a nuclear level. A lie so big it made everything they built feel counterfeit. I win. The internet got hold of it, all hell broke loose. By noon, the blogs were foaming at the mouth. The story was everywhere. LIL Scrappy allegedly finds out Bambi had a secret child with another man. Twitter exploded with opinions. TikTok lit up with reenactments. And messy YouTubers started breaking it down frame by frame like it was the Zapruder film. The timelines were flooded. Everyone had an opinion. Anonymous sources started popping out of nowhere. One claiming Bambi had been keeping the child in a private apartment paid for by someone close to the family. Another swore the child's birth had been strategically hidden behind a fake wellness retreat that Bambi allegedly took last year. A retreat that, according to one suspiciously detailed blog post, had been booked under a pseudonym linked to none other than Stevie J. Yes, that's Stevie J, the one who's been lurking in the background of Bambi and Scrappy's circle for months. The one who always manages to find himself at the center of drama, like a magnet for chaos. Suddenly, old. Photos resurfaced Bambi and Stevie in a Vegas hotel lobby. Arms around each other, dated just a few weeks before Bambi's so-called healing getaway. It didn't take long for Reddit to connect the dots. The wellness trip, the secret apartment, the Instagram story from Stevie J's page that had the faint sound of a baby crying in the background. A baby that, in hindsight, didn't quite fit into Stevie's narrative, but somehow now made perfect, horrifying sense. Mama D, of course, was the first to go live. Wine glass in hand, tears in her eyes, and Bible verses flying like confetti. "I told y'all she wasn't right for my son," she said, voice trembling between rage and heartbreak. "I begged him not to trust her, and now look. A whole child. A whole life he didn't know about. You don't just lie to a man, you steal his peace." Fans were eating it up. The comments exploded. "Scrappy deserves better," one wrote. "This ain't no love and hip-hop storyline. This is real pain," said another. And yet, despite this circus unfolding online, Scrappy stayed silent. No posts, no tweets, not a single clapback. That silence, it hit harder than any statement. It told the world he wasn't just angry. He was broken, shattered, trying to piece himself together while the internet turned his heartbreak into trending content. Asterisk, then came the leaks. Screenshots of DMs allegedly between Bambi and the child's real father. Messages begging him to stay quiet, to not ruin everything. One even said, "I'm just trying to protect what I built." That line alone sent social media into meltdown. What exactly did she build? A fake narrative? A family on lies? Then, out of nowhere, Kirk Frost joined the mess. He didn't name names, but he posted a cryptic story that said, "Some people play family till the truth shows up." Fans knew exactly who it was about. And just when it couldn't get more ridiculous, someone posted what looked like a birth certificate, real or fake. Nobody cared. It didn't list Scrappy as the father. It listed another name. And while it wasn't Stevie J's, the plot still thickened. Because now people were asking if Stevie was just the helper or something more. Why was he so invested? Why had Bambi's schedule lined up so perfectly with his? Why were so many NDAs allegedly tied to this whole situation? Meanwhile, Erica Dixon, Scrappy's ex and the mother of his eldest daughter, posted a mysterious photo of herself sipping tea with the caption, "I tried to warn him." Subtle, not even close, but effective. Absolutely. Her followers flooded the comments. "You were right all along," they said. "You saw through Bambi from the start." And that's when things started spiraling into full meltdown mode. Blogs were updating every 5 minutes. Twitter threads were hitting 50,000 likes. TikTok detectives were connecting birth dates, travel records, and even timestamps on old Instagram lives to prove that Scrappy had been played for longer than anyone imagined. It was digital chaos, a celebrity train wreck in slow motion. And through it all, Scrappy, still silent. Until one post changed everything. A black screen, no caption. Just a single broken heart emoji in the corner. It didn't say much, but it said everything. The moment that black screen hit Scrappy's timeline, the internet paused. Not because it was loud, but because it was quiet too quiet. One single broken heart emoji sitting in the corner like a tear on a funeral program, and suddenly the weight of the situation doubled. Fans flooded the comments, some begging for answers, others just sending love. The ones who had once laughed at his past mistakes were now rallying behind him, calling him a king, a survivor, a man who didn't deserve this level of betrayal. But just as the sympathy wave was building, another storm rolled in. A whistleblower, someone hiding behind a fake username and a pixelated profile picture, came forward with what they claimed was undeniable proof of everything. Leaked documents, hospital records, receipts from a luxury maternity suite in Arizona, of it pointing toward Scrappy. But as expected, Mama D came back on live like she was hosting a revival. Face bare, voice trembling. She started pulling out old screenshots, cryptic DMs, and even played a voice memo of what she claimed was Bambi speaking to a friend. In the audio, a woman's voice eerily similar to Bambi's whispered, "I didn't know what else to do. I thought I could make it all go away." Bambi stayed quiet. No denial, no explanation, just silence. And in scandals like this, silence speaks volumes. But Scrappy wasn't done grieving. He was transforming. The man who once sang hooks about loyalty and love, now, looked like he was ready to burn the whole kingdom down. Rumors started swirling that Scrappy had moved out of Atlanta temporarily, staying in a private Airbnb with security and a legal team. Not a publicist, not a manager, a full legal team. Insiders claimed he wasn't just heartbroken, he was preparing for war. Word got out that he had contacted his lawyer to discuss full custody of his kids with Bambi, using emotional distress, paternity fraud, and public humiliation as grounds. Some even whispered about financial damages, legal action, and the cancellation of future appearances on Love and Hip Hop. Whether true or not, the headlines wrote themselves. LIL Scrappy was no longer the victim. He was the plaintiff. Then came the video. At exactly 2:04 a.m., Scrappy went live. No filters, no studio lights, just darkness, the faint glow of a TV in the background, and a man whose soul looked like it had been dragged through glass. He didn't say hello, didn't shout, just stared at the camera for a full 10 seconds. Before whispering, "I would have died for her." That's all it took. The comments exploded. Thousands pouring in every second. And then he kept going, his voice cracking like something inside him was splitting open. "I gave her everything. My loyalty, my name, my family. And she gave me lies. It's a child I didn't know about. It's a man in my house I didn't invite. And a silence so cold it could freeze the devil." The chat was on fire. Fans crying, bloggers screen recording, celebrities reposting. Scrappy continued, "I made mistakes too, but I never lied about my blood. I never made her feel like a stranger in her own home. But now I don't even know who I married." He ended the live without a goodbye, without a smile. Just a heavy exhale and a camera blackout. That's when Erica Dixon re-entered the picture, not with pettiness, but with purpose. She dropped a 15-minute YouTube video titled "The Truth They Never Wanted Out." It wasn't dramatic, it wasn't messy. It was real. Sitting on a couch, no makeup, just emotion. She calmly explained how she warned Scrappy years ago that something about Bambi never sat right. "I wasn't trying to be bitter," she said. "I just saw red flags he didn't. And now this ain't just karma, it's consequences." She didn't smile, she didn't drag. But her tone cut deeper than a million clapbacks. Within hours, her video hit 1 million views. People called her the real MVP, the only one who tried to tell Scrappy the truth before it became a scandal. Even Mama D, who had beefed with Erica for years, reposted a clip from the video with a caption that simply read, "I owe her an apology." Then Stevie J finally broke his silence. Not with a statement, but with chaos. He went live from the studio, shirtless, drink in hand, grinning like the devil just whispered a joke in his ear. "Everybody got my name in their mouth," he laughed, "but none of y'all showing proof. Y'all don't want facts, you want drama. Well, hear it. I help my people, always have. That's all I'ma say." But the smirk said more than his words ever could. And fans didn't miss it. They zoomed in on his surroundings, pausing the live like they were FBI agents. A baby bottle in the background, a onesie on the chair, and the most chilling detail: a framed photo on the wall that looks suspiciously like Bambi, blurred out, but unmistakable. He didn't confirm anything, but he didn't deny it either. And in the world of internet investigations, that was a confession. Not long after, another blog posted unreleased footage security cam stills showing Bambi entering a maternity clinic under an alias, accompanied by a man with dreadlocks and a hoodie pulled low over his face. The timestamp, 3 weeks after her infamous Arizona retreat. The location: not Arizona, at Albert, Georgia. It's a private clinic known for NDAs and celebrity discretion. The man with her, allegedly, Stevie J, though the footage was grainy and unconfirmed. Still, the damage was done. People believed it. And belief is all the internet needs to crown a new scandal king. As for Bambi, she finally posted a screenshot of the notes app classic damage control. People will believe whatever suits their fantasy. I've always protected my children, even when it cost me my peace. I will not explain myself to people who don't know the full story. Comments: disabled. But it didn't matter, cause not 10 minutes later, Mama D went live again, reading the statement out loud in a mocking tone. Then yelling, "If protecting your children means lying to your husband and dragging my grandkids into a circus, you don't need therapy, you need Jesus and a lie detector." And just like that, the flames reignited. Fans created memes. TikTokers made parodies. Twitter threads were updated in real time. Scrappy's pain had become the internet's favorite soap opera. And every minute he stayed silent, the tension got worse. Because what no one knew was that Scrappy wasn't just grieving the betrayal. He was preparing for the next step. Scrappy had always been the type to ride the storm, to keep pushing even when the world threw bricks at his peace. But this time was different. This time, it wasn't just his heart that was cracked open. It was his entire world. And the cracks were public. Everyone had an opinion, everyone was invested, and everyone was watching, waiting for his next move. But what they didn't know was that while the world was turning his heartbreak into content, Scrappy was turning his pain into power. Behind closed doors, he wasn't just grieving, he was making moves. Word spread like wildfire that he had officially filed for full custody of the children he shared with Bambi. The documents, leaked by an unnamed courthouse source, claimed Scrappy listed emotional manipulation, dishonesty regarding paternity, and unsafe living conditions as part of his reasoning. That was just the beginning. Another rumor circulated that Scrappy's legal team was drafting a lawsuit for emotional distress and reputational damage, targeting not only Bambi but allegedly Stevie J as a co-conspirator. It sounded like a storyline from a twisted reality TV script, but the receipts were stacking up. Bloggers started publishing photos of Scrappy entering a law firm known for handling celebrity family disputes. Paparazzi caught him leaving court, in a black hoodie, eyes hidden, jaw tight, walking like a man on a mission. Then came the voice note. A new leak dropped from a source who claimed to have access to a private conversation between Bambi and a longtime friend. In the voice note, Bambi is allegedly heard saying, "I never wanted to lie forever, but I didn't know how to fix it. I was scared Scrappy would leave if he found out the truth. Stevie said he'd help me fix it, keep things quiet." That single sentence broke the internet again. It confirmed everything fans had already suspected, that this wasn't a one-time mistake, but a long, calculated cover-up. The comments were brutal. Some blamed Bambi entirely. Others dragged Stevie for inserting himself into the family like some manipulative puppet master. But one thing was clear. Public opinion had shifted, heavily in Scrappy's favor. He was no longer being clowned, he was being consoled. Even celebrities started to chime in. Cardi B tweeted that this drama had more layers than a Tyler Perry plot twist. 50 Cent reposted one of Scrappy's lives with the caption, "Even Ghost ain't go through betrayal like this." And just like that, Scrappy's pain became a pop culture moment. Meanwhile, VH1 couldn't resist. The network leaked casting calls for a Love and Hip Hop Atlanta special titled Secrets, Scandals, and DNA, hinting that the entire cast would reunite for a live, unedited tell-all episode. The internet exploded with speculation. Would Bambi show up? Would Scrappy confront Stevie on camera? Would Mama D throw a heel or a Bible? Fans started placing bets, screen recording old episodes for clues, pulling quotes and facial expressions to build timelines, like digital detectives. They even revisited episodes from seasons ago where Bambi casually mentioned, "Some things are better left off camera," and suddenly, that line sounded prophetic. Every side-eye, every awkward silence, every skipped question during reunion. Specials became part of the puzzle. Then, out of nowhere, a new bomb dropped. A former production assistant anonymously posted a thread claiming producers knew about the secret child for over a year but kept it hidden to protect relationships, NDAs, and possible spin-offs. That was the final straw for many fans, who now believed the betrayal ran deeper than Bambi and Stevie. This was institutional deception. The entire franchise was under fire. And fans were demanding accountability from Mona Scott and her empire. But just when it seemed like things couldn't spiral further, Bambi's alleged baby daddy stepped into the spotlight, if you could call a Walmart parking lot live stream a spotlight. Pacing, out of breath, clearly stressed, he went live and dropped bombshell after bombshell. "I didn't want this. Never wanted fame, but I ain't gone. Let her keep lying. That's my baby. Got proof. Got DNA. I'm not here to bash nobody but Scrappy, bro. I'm sorry you had to find out like this." And just like that, the final nail was hammered in. Screenshots of alleged DNA results were posted an hour later by a shady gossip blog, confirming that Scrappy was not the father. The name of the child, a blend of Bambi's middle name and the alleged father's. The disrespect was astronomical. This wasn't just betrayal, this was psychological warfare. Scrappy's fans, already fired up, now turned feral. They flooded his page with prayers, encouragement, and calls for justice. They begged him to drop a diss track, to start a podcast, to turn this chaos into an empire. Then finally, Scrappy reappeared. He posted a black and white photo of him holding his daughter, staring into her eyes with a look that said everything he didn't need to write in the caption. No words, just a father and his child clinging to whatever innocence was left in the middle of the storm. The message was clear. He might be broken, but he wasn't defeated. And while Bambi had finally posted a cold, vague Notes app statement, trying to spin herself as a protective mother, it didn't land. Fans weren't buying it. The damage was done. The truth was out. And Mama D, never one to let a final word go unchallenged, reacted to Bambi's post with a full IG Live performance, reading it in a mocking tone before ending with, "Girl, shut up. You didn't protect nothing but your own lie. And now it's unraveling like your fake storyline." Scrappy's silence became his power. He didn't need to clap back or air out every detail. His absence from the mess was louder than any shade he could throw. And yet, his silence wasn't passive, it was intentional. Rumors began to swirl that he was meeting with networks to tell his side in his own way, on his own terms. A docu-series, a tallow interview, maybe even a book. The man, once reduced to a storyline, was now controlling the narrative. And while Stevie J continued to troll from the sidelines, Bambi remained mostly silent, and VH1 tried to package the pain for ratings. The only person people were truly watching was Scrappy. Because when a man survives this level of deception, he either becomes bitter or better, and Scrappy, he looked ready to rebuild from the ashes. This wasn't just drama. This was a cultural reset. A raw, chaotic, painfully real story that exposed how far people will go to protect lies, manipulate appearances, and destroy trust. And as the dust settled, one thing remained undeniable. As LIL Scrappy wasn't just breaking down, he was breaking free. The masks were off, the secrets were out, and the next chapter wasn't about heartbreak. It was about healing, revenge, and resurrection. And if Bambi thought the truth would stay buried, she clearly forgot what happens when a man's heart shatters on the world stage, because heartbreak doesn't die quietly, it rises. It roars, calls every lie by name, and lights the match. And this match, it just burned down everything she thought she had under control. Now that you've heard every jaw-dropping twist, every leaked message, and every messy, heart-shattering detail of this wild, Scrappy and Bambi saga, it's time for you to weigh in. Are you Team Scrappy, standing by a man who just had his world flipped upside down? Or are you still holding out hope that Bambi's silence has a deeper story to tell? Was this a tragic misunderstanding or a cold, calculated betrayal from day 1? Drop your thoughts in the comments, sim-talking theories, receipts, wild predictions, all of it. I read every single one, so don't hold back. If you're here for the drama, the secrets, and the truth the mainstream won't say out loud, smash that like button like it owes you child support. Hit subscribe and turn on that bell so you're the first to know when the next explosive piece drops. Because trust me, it's this story far from over. More tea is brewing, more receipts are leaking, and you don't want to miss a single second of it. Stay curious, stay shady, and remember, where there's smoke, there's a flaming hot mess just waiting to be exposed. See y'all in the next scandal.